I'm Elizabeth Pollock.
And I'm Shelby Denial.
And this is our podcast on Michael Bell Jr. So 10 years ago, on November 4th, 2004, in Kenosha, Wisconsin, a young 21-year-old middle-class white male was shot in the head, point blank, by a police officer who was suspicious of him driving under the influence.
The police officer did nothing to prove that he was driving under the influence. No breathalyzer, no test, nothing. He just put him on the ground. And Michael Bell, as he's slightly intoxicated, didn't know what to do. He panicked, and he started to get up. But as soon as he did that, the cops pushed him onto his car, and Michael was still fighting them. And that one cop's gun got stuck on the rearview mirror, and he was screaming,
"He's got my gun, he's got my gun." And
the other cop assumed that he needed to be taken down, so he shot him twice.
Which is sort of like a self-defense kind of thing, because a criminal grabs a police officer's gun or anything, you just start panicking because you never know what they might do. But it was sort of like this fight or flight response. So he did what he did it on instinct and impulse and just shot him. He shot him twice because one of them was a misfire and the other one was a direct hit. He was taken to the hospital and he died at the hospital. And Michael Bell Sr., his father, decided that this shouldn't have happened because his son wasn't the kind of person who would do anything wrong to be able to get like arrested or being shot by the cops, because he was this kid who had his whole life ahead of him and he's just this happy-go-lucky guy.
From then on, Michael Bell Sr. has fought through hard and long to pass down a bill of where if a police officer is accused of killing a person while in their custody or injuring, will have to have outside resources out of the state, so there will be no altering the evidence or any suspicion of anything.
Yeah, so because the police officers, they somehow got into the police reports and altered them slightly so that it would be in their favor. But Michael Bell Sr. wasn't going to have that, so he had FBI probes to go deeper into this and look for those police records, because he knew those were not true, because of the eyewitness from his wife and daughter who were right there and watching the whole thing and watching their son and brother get killed. Michael Bell Sr. fought for 10 years. He has a website dedicated to his son, and he has a Facebook page dedicated to everyone who's experienced this kind of brutality and who wants to have justice taken. What do you think of him? I mean, because he also had billboards put up in order to put the pressure on the policemen and the community to pass this law after 10 years of fighting for his son. What do you think of that?
I think he did pretty much a great job, because usually when a victim's family member has this, they just complain and do nothing about it, except for probably take him to court and get sued, and that's pretty much it. He just kept going and going because he just wanted to put this pressure on, because for years cops were getting away with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so he really loved his son so much, and he still loves him even in death, because he's doing this for his son and to everyone else, so that this doesn't happen to them, because it's just a tragic thing to have happen to a 21-year-old who's has his whole life ahead of him. It's just to be taken away by a suspicion and a hunch.
As you can see in the photo of Michael Bell Jr. in our blend space, you can see that Michael Bell, he's a normal guy. He's got his niece on his shoulders. And come on, seriously, Elizabeth, do you think he could actually harm you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he just looks like this happy kid, and who's carrying his niece on his shoulders. And he just has this it's actually really adorable smile, and he looks really happy. And it's a shame that he got, killed, because who knows what he could have done to change the world. I don't know about you, but if it was your son who got killed, would you have done the same thing as Michael Bell Sr.?
I pretty would, because let's face it, if your kid gets killed by a cop that you thought was supposed to bring justice, you would do anything, because parents do not like it if you do something to their kid.
No, it's just like Mama and Papa Bear coming after you. To be quite honest, I would probably feel the same, like, anger. I would want to bring justice to it, but I don't think with my kind of personality I would actually like go to the distance. I would actually go the distance to do this because I'm a very timid person when it comes to doing something like this. I probably wouldn't be, I would try and try my hardest, but I probably wouldn't be going as far, even though I probably would want to.
Okay, let's go ahead. And our next space is our podcast, as you can see. And the next one is Michael Bell.
The initial article in a Politico magazine where Michael Bell Sr. talks about the incident
Of what he has done so far.
And then he talks about the 10-year fight, about what happened to his son and what he's been doing to fight it. It was pretty interesting because there's a quote in here. An American man came up to Michael Bell Sr. and he said, if they can shoot a white boy like a dog, imagine what we've been going through. It's true because the African Americans have been really
the main target for cops of suspicion.
It's the only thing you see in the news, really. Like, you only see something happening and it's turning into like this little race issue, in my personal opinion, because it's sort of quote unquote race issue. It's just, you don't see anything about a white kid getting killed by a cop. You see mostly about the black community getting shot, and then it turns into this race thing, like, oh, this is so wrong, the policeman is racist. But then you don't see the white guy who got killed in anything, or you don't really hear about it until because I never heard about Michael Bell until now. It was like,
ouch.
It's sort of like, oh, he got killed. That's so sad. But then then the black guy gets like, oh, that guy is racist. He should be put in jail, or he shouldn't be on the force anymore. It shouldn't be a race issue because everyone in the end is on equal ground here. Like, everyone's a person.
It's all about the media.
The media does things. It really does.
The more views.
The media tends to just sugarcoat things and exaggerate. So then our next article
is about the law that Michael Bell Sr. has just passed in Wisconsin. And like we told you before, it's outside investigation.
So outside investigation so that this doesn't happen again, and hopefully it'll go national, because I really think it could go national, because it's even recently after everything happened, with Eric Gardner, and who was the other guy? Was it like he was at the Shell station, remember?
Yeah, I just don't know his name.
It was South Carolina guy. I forgot his name, but all those things it would be really
good if that actually got throughout the states instead of just Wisconsin alone.
Right. And so in our next slide, we have the dash cam video, which is sort of like you see
the police officer pulling him over and just hauling him to the other side.
And you don't see the rest of it. And if you listen closely, you should be able to hear like whatever is going on in the background, but very faintly. You don't get a very good view. In the next one, that's why we have the reenactment there, which Michael Bell Sr. Produced, and with the money he got from when he sued the police officer.
And it shows like 3 angles. One at the front of what happened. One where he's being pushed down to the ground and hauled onto the car, and the other one showing a great view of how the
aerial view,
the aerial view of how the cop gun got caught.
And then in our next one is our not Wisconsin. And our next one is the NPR piece on Michael Bell Sr. on his fight once again, to see to NPR News
what happened.
Yeah, what happened and how his 10-year fight,
And our next one is a website that Michael Bell Sr. has made, and it's dedicated not only to his son but to everyone else who had an abuse authority doing something horribly to a family member. And it shows a picture of him, the video of the remake he made, and evidence of even an autopsy of when his son was killed.
So it has everything pretty much. I haven't checked it out yet, but Shelby has, and so she knows what's going on in there. And if you're going on it through a school computer, you won't be able to open it because it's blocked. But you can open it from a mobile device, anything, probably your laptop.
basically just outside the school because the school won't let you in.
Well, yeah, just like not on the school computer, like in the mini lab or on the library, but you can probably use your own laptop. And so then we have our reflection, which would provide some links about like the police Michael Bell Sr.'s probing for the police reports that got altered, and the police saying that Michael Bell Sr. was a liar, and saying that his accusations were false. There was another one about... Okay, so that wraps it up. Thank you for listening. I'm Elizabeth Pollock.
And I'm Shelby Denio.
And we hope you have a good day.